something to do, a call to action, and you did not do it. And that is.
And let me first say right out the starting gates, I like Sean Ryan. I like his podcast. I didn't see this particular one he's talking about in regards to that there's an imminent attack on America. I've heard this most of my adult life. I'm not saying it's not true, but I think that Sean Ryan needs to understand that most of the American people see this blaming of every other country being the problem as a deflection off of the left and the right that are really the ones after us in this country. It is the enemy within that is the problem. Just like they want to try to blame Iran for Trump's assassination, trying to assassinate Trump. Instead of blaming, we know it was our country. Okay, and I love America, but that's where people's mindset is. It's not that the American people are lazy, Sean Ryan. It's not that nobody cares about your petition. It's the fact that we're tired of being directed to look at all of these threats outside this country when in very Babylon, Washington, D.C. there, we have enemies everywhere. That's closer to home than Iran. Yeah, maybe Iran or Iraq's coming across the border. Who knows? Yeah, everybody's coming across the border. But where is the true threat that allowed that to happen? In this country. In this country. So if you think that everybody's going to get deflected and go focus on Iran, focus on China, no, we're done with that crap. Because that stuff happens because of the leadership that we have on the left and the right. So that's the reason. It's not that vets don't care. It's not that they don't want to sign your petition to have what happened in Afghanistan looked into. It's the fact that the threat is already here. I literally work in a psychiatric hospital that now, and I've been at other hospitals that have done this too. There's something with these freestanding psych hospitals. I feel like they're up to something. They do paper charting that's like so archaic. But then now they have these PET monitors they're putting on patients. That's what they remind me of. But they're like so you can do 15-minute checks. The hospital literally only cares about making sure the checks are done. They could care less if anybody is safe as long as those checks are done, because the fuckers in Washington who are part of Joint Commission or whatever oversight or public health will say that they won't get their Medicare otherwise. They don't want to give the staff that's needed to help patients or keep staff safe. No, they want to literally lessen patients by putting these wristbands that are basically a tracking device, a Bluetooth, and then we have to use this iPad to get as close to the patient to say, we did our 15-minute check. It's literally tracking the patients. And then I asked today, very hostile actually, I probably came off as hostile. Oh well. I asked today, I said, where does this information go? You know, because this is all Bluetooth, you're collecting all this information, and I think most of us really don't trust tech. Oh, well, all of it goes to the Amazon cloud. The Amazon cloud has all of your medical data. Well, I mean, because they'll eventually bring this into all the hospitals because they're now pushing it as a safety thing for all patients. But of course, everything they start with is in psych. So this is literally a wearable tracking device. And yet I had to sit through an in-service where I had leadership, the administrative leadership, I can't stand any of them, trying to manipulate me, and everybody in there who's falling for it, as if this is a good thing. Oh, it's a good thing to have one tech be responsible for 24 patients, because now that it's in a Bluetooth method with an iPad, we don't need as many staff, huh? No, there's nothing safe about that. So when I literally see leadership where I work trying to play people, it just infuriates me. And the man teaching this device, I had to learn it from another hospital, same guy out of Pennsylvania, from Penn State, came up with it. Supposedly a nurse came up with it. Yeah, it's all just wearable, trackable devices. And who knows what data they're stealing from people. but it goes to the Amazon cloud. I just, and then I went further and I said, well, what about hacking? This is private information, most especially psych. I said, haven't you worried about that, especially with this global IT thing that just happened? Oh no, CrowdStrike, we weren't affected by that. Well, there's been, through the history of technology being in hospitals, there's been a ton of people's data violated. But I was guaranteed that they can't violate the Amazon cloud, apparently, right? Yeah, CrowdStrike. So I'm much more worried about what is going on in this country, literally what is going on with wanting to track human beings. I mean, honestly, we do have to watch people in psych and check on them every 15 minutes. But this is a great way to bring it in, and then they tell you how this even saved this life and that life. But literally, they take staff away. So it's the most untherapeutic way of handling healthcare. And who's going to fix that? Because when you don't have people in your healthcare system, you don't have enough people, then there will be a ton of people that don't make it. And I'll be just straight up honest. I don't think the administrators, they don't care. Because if they were people that had a moral compass, they wouldn't do this to patients and staff. But literally, they want to use tracking devices, and then just put more pressure on the rest of us by eliminating more staff, which will put everybody in more jeopardy. It'll not be therapeutic at all. So it's stuff like that that is a concern when you start seeing that we're now putting trackable devices on patients under the guise of safety. Yeah, everything is about safety. We're going to keep the Americans safe. So Sean Ryan, it's not that Americans are lazy. Most of us are damn exhausted, for one thing. But the other thing is that, no, we're more worried about the threat that's within.